Da ni nawr mynd i argraffu gyda dail. Fi'n hoff iawn o wneud hwn, a fi fel arfer yn mynd efo gyda fi pryd ni'n mynd bant yn penwythnos yn gwersylla. Fi'n mynd a beth sydd gyda fi fan hyn gyda ni, a ni'n mynd am wac fach ac yn argraffu beth ni wedi darganfod. So now we're going to print some leaves, and this is something that I do quite often. And I even have a little box with everything in that I take with us when we go camping. And it's a really nice thing to do. You can go for a little walk and then print what you find afterwards or the day after. It's quite minimal in what you need. You're going to need something to soak your paper in, and again some printing paper. I usually just do black ink, but I do have some grey mixed up as well from the previous printing we did, so I've kept that. And a palette to roll it out in a roller. So does dim angen lot o peth yna chi wneud hwn. Mae angen rhywbeth I socio yn y papur. Mae angen papur, argraffu yna chi, ink, a roller, a palette I rolio'r ink allan yno, a'r llwybren. And don't forget the wooden spoon. Or even before, I've just used our body weight as well if I haven't got it with you. You can just sandwich it between something hard or a couple of books and then just stand on it. That also works as well. So I've been out and I've picked some leaves and I've dried them as well. It's raining today, so I've just blotted them on a bit of kitchen roll just so they're nice and dry. You don't want wet leaves, the ink's not going to stick to it. Fi wedi bod allan a dwi wedi casglu dail. Mae gen I 3 bach fan hyn. A dwi wedi gwneud siŵr bod fi wedi sychu nhw. Mae'n bwrw glawd yn ei heddi. So fi wedi gwneud siŵr bod tamed bach o kitchen roll just I cymryd y dŵr oddi wrth y wyneb. Nid yw'r ink ddim yn mynd I stico. A mae hwn yn really hawdd I wneud. Chi just yn gosod nhw lawr. This is so simple to do. You just lay your leaves down on your found objects. And you're just going to take the roller and roll the ink over the top of them. So the same as before, we get the ink out and you want to make sure that you spread it out so it's nice and thin, so it's not too thick. So again, you're looking for that hiss, that lovely hiss. And then you're just going to gently roll it over the leaf. So mae eisiau cymryd bach o pwyll nawr fel bod y dail yn cael ei gorchuddio gyda ink, ond bod chi ddim yn, sort of, doesn't get ripped, fod e ddim dod wrth ei gilydd. So you just gently roller the ink over and down that lovely stem. I'm going to go back for a bit more. Being gentle so you don't rip the leaves. This is a nice little mindful exercise to do, is not to be rushed, take your time over it. There is no rush. And you will notice there's a bit in the middle that the ink doesn't capture, but that's fine, and it'll add to the print. There's nothing, you don't have to cover it all in black. Those kind of difference in depths and dispersion of ink is what's going to make it interesting. So I'm going to ink all of them up at the same time, so I've got them ready to go. So once I've washed my hands, I don't have to get inky again. So I'm going to ink my treasure. Just cymryd bwyll, does dim hast. O, pethau bach neis yn digwydd fan hyn. Mae'r veins o dail yn dangos. Eto dim gormod o ink, not too much ink. You're going to lose your detail. 2, and I'm going to do a bit of this fern as well. I might do the fern in grey, change it up a bit. I'm going to get a clean piece of paper. And now I'm going to do it in grey. Take your time and kind of go with the leaf direction as well, that helps. Okay, so once I've got everything inked up, I need to turn my attention to the paper. So I've already marked out the size of the paper. Fi 'di marco mas yn barod size y papur sydd gen I. And I'm going to layer the leaves on. I'm going to use all 3, I think. And it doesn't matter that it leaves, that is bigger than the paper. The image can leave. It doesn't have to be confined to that square and fit neatly into it. It's quite nice when things disappear off a page. So So here I'm just making a little composition. And then once you're happy with the composition, you can go and get your paper from the blot. But I'm just going to wash my hands first. So same as before, I'm just taking the paper that's been soaking for about 5 minutes. And I'm going to put it into the blotting paper so it's nice and damp rather than soaking wet. Okay, that should do it. I'm now going to put it on top of my leaves. And the only tricky bit is not getting things to move underneath your paper really. So you want to try to, again, just be mindful of what you're doing. There's no rush, there's nothing to rush here. Take your time. So eto, just cymerwch eich amser, ond bwysig fod y dail ddim yn symud o dan y papur. So dim yn rhywbeth ych chi moyn brysio. Jyst yn gwasgu lawr, a fi'n mynd I fynd ar roller sych yn cael ei dro hyn. I'm going to take just the dry roller this time. You can hear the leaves crunching underneath. Make sure all over it. And like I've said before, it's quite fun, especially if you're in a group of people. And you can just put a book on top of it and start standing on it. Okay, let's see if that's enough. And again, you might find that it's not enough pressure, so the next time you do it, you put more pressure on. It's all a matter of finding your way. Oh, nice. I'm really happy with that. There is a bit of movement on this one, but I can live with it. Nice. Y peth da amdano argraffu yw bod chi'n gallu mynd to. A dyna'r pwynt of it really. So the whole point of printmaking is that you make multiple prints. It lends itself to making more than one. You go back and you do another one, you have a little play, you change the things that you don't want to like, or add bits. They think, oh, that might be better with this. You just do it again. So I've re-inked the leaves. It's actually the same leaves. They're good to go again. They don't mind being reused. This time I'm going to make a landscape one. So I'm just going to arrange slightly differently. It's just a matter of placing that on top. And seeing what happens this time. Ooh, sticky. Ah, super pretty. There we go. So once it's dried flat, I can then bend it and it'll be like the teeniest little thank you card. It's cute. You can just keep on going. So you have to do something else, I guess. But for now, I'm going to make another one. Dwi'n really hapus gyda beth fi wedi gwneud yn yr 20 munud diwetha yma. Dyn nhw ddim yn perffaith, ond fi wedi cael, allan I fynd nawr am awr fach arall, fi wedi bod yn really mwynhau. Just y proses o edrych, cymryd yn amser, gosod, a I weld beth sy'n dod oddi ar hynny. Maen nhw gyd yn bethau fi wedi defnyddio, byddai probably yn torri nhw fyny ac yn defnyddio nhw fel tags bach fel wedes I gynnau. I'm really happy with this 20 minutes that I've spent printmaking with these leaves, and I could probably go for another hour. It's a really mindful, meditative kind of process to do with no real outcomes except for just the process and just being present in what you're doing. Thank you for being here today. I hope you found it useful, and thank you for Creative Cwtsh and the Arts Council for the funding for doing so as well. It's a lovely little project, and I hope you get the best out of it. Diolch yn fawr I chi am eich cwmni chi heddi. Mae wedi bod yn bleser I wneud hwn i'r Cwtsh Creadigol, ac diolch i'r Canolfan Cyfyddydau, Cyngor Cyfyddydau a Marian i'r prosiect bach gwych. Lot o fideos bach dwi hefyd yn mynd i cymryd mantis ohono. Diolch yn fawr i chi am eich amser.